I can't say that I remember exactly how old I was, but I do remember exactly when I got my first bow. My family and I were on our way back home from a trip out of town, and we stopped in a little small bow shop, and they had a lightly used Hoyt youth bow hanging on the wall, and I just had to have it.
If I shoot good, will you give me another arrow? I gotta get mine fixed.
I just got both of them fixed today, and you ain't got before in the gun cabinet, and I'm saving them for hunt.
Oh, that's great. First time practicing. I'm getting good.
Those two are brand new fletched, so that's all you get right now. You're getting pretty good with that thing, ain't you?
I messed up.
Run on up there and show them to me. Point them out.
The first shot, second shot.
I grew up in Mississippi, southwest Mississippi, right along the Mississippi River, in a fairly small town, and all we did was go to church, play sports, and hunt and fish and enjoy the outdoors, and it just consumed me from a very young age. As a kid, I grew up shooting in the backyard with friends in the neighborhood and with my dad, and it was in a time when outdoor television and outdoor videography was really coming on, and the only way we had to watch those things were to rent VHS tapes and get tapes and DVDs from the store once a year when all the new seasons came out. And when we weren't playing wiffle ball or fishing, we were actually pretending to film hunts, and I can remember watching videos and trying to reenact those in the backyard in the woods behind my house. And that's what we grew up aspiring to do. When I got older, that passion continued, and I started committing to exclusively hunting with a bow. And I even started filming hunts and having an education in technology and a background in technology as an adult. Filming and producing and editing film and all that just fed right into that passion in the outdoors, and I was able to have a lot of success bow hunting with a camera, both filming myself and with others filming me, and I was able to kill some deer on film and really just continue to grow my passion for archery. I found my passion for filming in the outdoors almost parallel with my passion for archery and bow hunting. And as I got a little older and was finally able to venture off out of my home area and hunt, I was able to go to the Midwest, where all I had ever seen was all of these amazing epic adventures and hunts for the November whitetail rut. And I had never been able to experience it, and once I did, I understood what it was all about, and it quickly became just a passion that I thought about and prepared for all year long, for every November, and was able to immediately have a lot of success and set myself up to go back and do that year after year. I've had kind of this goal that I was going to maximize and try to make the most of the time I had to spend hunting the November rut in the Midwest by trying to fill more than one tag in more than one state on one trip. And I've come close to doing that, but this past year, November of 2021, was a pretty special season. Our first day in Missouri, we arrived midday, and there was a big weather front pushing through that night. And we wanted to get our mobile set hung. We actually encountered 3 bucks. We knew the rut was hot and heavy, but the weather kind of hit earlier than we expected it to, and we got ran out. The good thing was that weather was pushing through before the next morning. It was gonna drop significantly in temperature. The weather was gonna push out and make for a high pressure. The next day we climb in, and it's a typical cool November kind of hunt, kind of windy, but cold weather, and it was a little slower than we thought it was going to be.
I did rattle up a deer about an hour ago out in the CRP, but he circled around and got our wind and left. It wasn't real big, but I think he was a shooter, possibly.
After seeing all the bucks while we were in there the day before, getting everything set up, and then the weather that we had, it was kind of a slow day, but then later in the afternoon, about 4:30, things started to pick up.
Was it a good shot?
Yeah.
I got him on camera, I just didn't see the shot.
There he is. Is he dead? He just walked off right there.
I think if we get out quiet, if he's hurt or bad,
He's gonna lay back up.
right on the others, hopefully right in that next one.
He's laying. We haven't even crossed the ditch yet.
This was my biggest whitetail buck with a bow, and to be able to make a plan, set that plan in motion, and for it to come together on our first day, it feels awesome. And you know, one of the best things was it set us up with a lot of time to prepare and get ready for the next part of our trip, which was heading down to Kansas to see if we could fill 2 tags on one hunt. I'm fortunate enough to have some great property in southeast Kansas that I can hunt, and unlike Missouri, we didn't have a specific farm that we planned to hunt. We just knew that we had some good farms with some good deer, and we had 4 or 5 days to hunt them. But the weather wasn't going to be in our favor. The weather was actually shifting dramatically while we were there, going from cold back to warm. So we got there midday on our first day after traveling from Missouri. We made an afternoon hunt. Then we were able to make a hunt, an all-day hunt on our first full day when we had a north wind and cool temperatures. And then on our third day, we had to transition and adjust and go to a farm that we didn't necessarily plan to hunt, but because of the shift in wind and the warm temperatures that were rolling in, it was going to be our last cool weather morning before we had to pack up and head home, and we had to go find a location we could hunt with those southerly winds. So we picked this farm and we headed in for our third morning in Kansas.
We were a little bit late getting in. I don't think it really mattered, but the problem is there's standing beans behind us, and we walked through a cut cornfield to get into this draw of woods, and there were deer out in the fields, and we bumped them. And I don't think it would have mattered if we'd have been 30 minutes earlier, the deer still would have been out there. But right here behind us, within 100 yards or so where we're sitting, there was a pretty, it was dark, but it was a pretty big deer with a doe in the edge of those beans. And they ran into this block of timber that we're now in. So, I don't know. It certainly doesn't feel good when you bump a deer and then get in the stand, but it is the rut, and anything can happen. It's a really pretty spot. There's a creek running down through here, and there's a ag field, cut corn on both sides of us and beans behind us. And there's a bunch of deer on camera on this farm, so we're gonna make a morning sit here. We're gonna sit till midday and just hopefully when things calm down, deer will start moving. We need deer to be cruising this timber. If they do, we ought to be in pretty good shape. So we're gonna sit tight and see what happens. Hey, big buck, big buck, big buck, big buck. Coming in over here. Coming to the pond over here. Done. That deer's done, partner. Going down right there. That's a pretty 8-point right there, buddy. Alright, it's 10 o'clock in Kansas, and I'm confident in telling you that we are tagged out, because I just smoked that deer.
During our hunt in Kansas, we encountered a couple of bucks. And I had made the decision that one of my primary goals was to be able to fill 2 tags on one trip to the Midwest for the rut. And I made the decision that morning that the next mature buck that I got an opportunity at, I was gonna take it, because it was what I was there for, and you don't get the opportunity to harvest 2 mature whitetail bucks in 4 days. And when that deer came and followed that doe and presented me with a perfect shot, I just couldn't pass it up. And I don't know if I'll be able to do this again. I know I'm gonna try. I know it's something that I'm passionate about and I'm not gonna stop doing. Bow hunting big whitetails is just, it's what keeps me going. Of all the outdoor activities that I love to take in, it's my #1. And you know, to be able to bring home 280 inches of horn in a week is special. And I don't know that I'll be able to do it again, but next year I'll be back, I'll be trying, and maybe we'll kill 3.